Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that this video related to topics on The Legend of Zelda was made without me seeing any of the leaked art book for Tears of the Kingdom. I made a video going further in detail on this, link in the description below. Now, on with this video. Alright, hey, what is up guys? Welcome back. It's Skylink Shock here. So this is a very non-scripted. I usually don't do non-scripted, but anyway, you guys are here for a gameplay breakdown. Whatever, who cares what I have to say about how I do my videos? Let's get into this. You guys are here for some Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, so before I record, I watched this gameplay session like about 3 times already, so maybe I might still find things new, which is cool when we do this. But I just wanted to let you guys know that there really isn't that much new offered. It's cool to see that the abilities, which I'll go into as the video gets into them, but for the most part there really isn't anything new. And so obviously right now it starts in Fort Hateno, and yeah, we'll progress forward from there. I think the team picked very specific places that haven't changed. Or maybe this is a specific build of the game where they pick these 2 areas, you know, the sky area that we'll see and this ground area that don't really have that much. Maybe in the actual game they'll have more. Who knows? But anyway, let's start into this. But I'm just letting you guys know as a quick preface, I'm not too impressed. I still need to see a lot more. And I'll get more into that towards the end. Okay. So here obviously we have Link on the horse, you know, just galloping around. This is near Fort Hateno. This is near like the dueling peaks. Yeah, as you can see, the dueling peaks are right here in the left. So yeah, this is kind of near that area. It looks like the horse stable is the same of where it's been before. So it looks like stables are in this pretty much the same location. It's cool how they have that smoke coming out of the stables, so I don't know what that means, but yeah, it's still pretty cool. Still not really anything else to see here. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, there's not really anything else I see here pretty much that's like really standout-ish. I think, like I said, they did a really good job of picking an area that hasn't been heavily changed. Like, we could still see this mysterious tower that has lights coming from the bottom of it. Who knows what that is? The map looks kind of weird. Like, the map kind of looks like he hasn't activated any Sheikah towers or whatever the towers will be. So it looks like the map is incomplete in the HUD in the bottom right corner, which is kind of interesting to me, or it is, and I just can't notice it. But it's cool as well that they have these, what's it called? These coordinates for knowing where you are, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so there's the robot enemy there that he'll go into in a bit. I don't know if you guys see him. He's right there, so you can lock on him. So it's one of the construct enemies. I don't think we've seen any bokoblins in this gameplay session. I think we've only seen the new enemy, which is the construct enemy. So some stuff has fallen. There's dueling peaks, of course, and here we have our stable. So really not much anything new to see here. Yeah, oh, there was somebody right there who was basically saying, I need to reach my friend. It looks like a Korok. Yeah, it's a Korok with a bag. That's kind of funny. Anyway, so maybe Koroks are traveling in this time around. Okay, so these are the boards that Aonuma will go into later in this gameplay session, where you can do certain things with them, and they help make wind. So that's cool how they're just laying around. But overall, it doesn't really look like the stable looks that much different. There's still a dog at the front. It still looks pretty much the same, which kind of worries me. A lot of stuff in this game really looks the same, but it's cool to see this rock falling down that that's being focused on. So we're gonna go check out that rock, I guess. So Link is climbing. So climbing has returned. We can tell this is the beginning of the game. Link has 4 hearts, and his stamina is not even upgraded at all. So this is still the very beginning of the game. I wonder if there's a Great Plateau thing or if you start, or you can go directly off the Great Plateau from the beginning. Who knows? They also haven't mentioned anything about going to Ganon, like the final boss from the very beginning. I feel like they would have mentioned that by now, but they still haven't, so I'm assuming that's not the case. We can also see this little hut with a little weird thing. Some people think these are the new shrines. There's something that we'll see later that kind of might debunk that, but I mean, these things still really are interesting. You know, with this swirl, I feel like Link can go in there and maybe upgrade. I don't know, looks like there's a little slide. Obviously that's not a slide, that's just a design. But yeah, I don't really know what else to think about those things.
Since I just used recall on the fallen rock,
so the recall ability is pretty cool. What's kind of crazy is that it actually starts to wear off as the rock lifts up. So it starts to wear off before the rock even moves, which I think is like kind of prevents it from being too OP, and then it stays in the air for a second, allowing you to react, which is kind of cool. But it's kind of funny because where did that rock even come from? Did it like come from space or the sky, or did it come from a sky island? Because when we rewinded it, it didn't really seem like it was connected to an island, or maybe there's an island farther above. Who knows? Anyways, so this is cool to see this shot of Hyrule here. It looks like there's some sort of malice thing going on. And this is towards the Lanayru region. So to the right here, this is the Faron. So this kind of looks like something, whatever's between Faron and Lanayru. I kind of forgot. I know Necluda, maybe it might be Necluda, because Akala is to the left, so maybe it is Necluda. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but so we see some sort of malice pool there, and that's not like the volcano. That's like a different type of malice pool, so I wonder what that connects to. We of course see another dragon, of course, and probably the biggest thing that stood out to me is that this is Mount Lanayru. At the top, that's where we fought Naedra, a corrupted Naedra, I believe, in Breath of the Wild. Well, they have this tower that's on top. So these towers that are like randomly stick out, I wonder if this tower can like maybe throw you up high, and then you can go all the way over here, something like that. I don't know. So yeah, that's all interesting. Yeah, so by the way, so as you can see here, we did see this thunder thing, I believe in the September trailer of last year, and so there's like thunder clouds that kind of go up higher that kind of cover Sky Islands, so it's like hard to get in there. That's kind of cool, and at least the thunder isn't really in the main region, the Faron region there, the tropical part of the Faron region there. At least the thunder's not there. It looks like it's up there, or that's where it comes from. Maybe we can stop it. Who knows? Okay. So obviously now it cuts to a different part of the map. And I just actually wanted to look at the map a couple of times. Okay, so the map really doesn't really show anything once Link is on this Sky Island. Okay, now it does. Oh yeah, but this is the next clip anyway. So yeah, the one thing that really sticks out to me is the map, and I'll explain why as we go on here. But from this point on, nothing to see here. You can kind of see the volcano. You can see some islands in the distance. You can see this little island here, which is to the very northeast part of the map, which kind of excites me. I hope we can go past those boundaries. So I'm interested to see that. These islands here look like they would be above the ocean to the northeast still, not to the top right corner of the map, but like a little bit below the top right corner, still pretty much to the northeast. So these islands that are really far will be over the ocean, which is something that I wanted. I wanted islands to go far across the ocean. That way if you fall, you go into the ocean, and maybe you can bring a raft down there or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. So he did mention that these yellow trees are only available to up here. So many people have discussed that already, which is kind of true. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so let's continue on. I don't really see anything else of importance. Obviously, people might find other stuff before I do, because this is a very rough analysis. But yeah, let's keep on going. So, yeah, so pretty much now he's going to go into the abilities. Oh, what was really cool in this part is that when you're on the Sky Island, the music's a little bit different. I noticed at the beginning, The music was kind of the same when we were on horseback, but now here the music's a little bit different. It sounds kind of cooler. It's still very ambient, but you know what? I'll take anything new. So that's the construct enemy. Aonuma's talking about it, you know, which is pretty cool. These are like the weak robot enemies. I guess we saw they're like mini versions of the one we saw in the 2021 trailer, I believe. In the 2021 trailer, that was like the big one. So those are the smaller ones, and they're cool because they drop pieces of what they were made out of. So I'm kind of interested. Are they like the technology this time around? Or are the Guardians gone? Who knows? Anyway, kind of looking around here. Not really a lot to see here still. This is the fuse ability, so pretty much as you saw there, the attack number, so it shows how much stronger each weapon gets. There's another one of those facilities here with the little slide, so they exist on the islands and the bottom. Maybe they're teleportation, where you could teleport to the Sky Island and the ground back and forth. This place is kind of interesting. There's like a stairway. There's water, there's a stairway, and then you go inside there. I don't know what that is, but I really want to go in there. And yeah, so he's going to still kind of talk about the new weapon and stuff. Yeah, okay, cool. So, those little guys, they actually have little red eyes, actually. I don't know if you guys saw here. I'll rewind just for that. So as you can see here, they have little red eyes kind of showing that they're searching around for something. So that really makes things interesting. And then he fights them with the new fused weapon, of course. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing really else beyond there. Yeah, the trees, apples on the trees look the same. Not really anything else here that I can find. Okay, this part was cool. So as we see an enemy over there. Nothing really else over here. So he made like a double spear, which I thought was really cool. So now it's really like long range. I wonder if you could do 3. Maybe like towards the end of the game you could get like a triple ability.
For instance, try fusing this leaf to it.
Oh yeah, what's interesting is that he does a Korok leaf or Korok frond. That's interesting. And I thought he was going to aim with that, but instead he switches to the Choo-Choo Ice Choo-Choo, which makes it a nice arrow. So this part's pretty self-explanatory. I don't really think I see anything else here in the background that's like too obvious. Yeah, I don't really see anything here that's like super obvious. He's just kind of going over. There's another dragon, and that dragon does look different from Nadra, Farash, or Dinral. So that's kind of interesting. Kind of goes back to that theory that the dragons actually live up here, which is pretty cool, that there's more dragons that could live up here. Yeah.
Here's an eyeball you can get by defeating monsters.
So yeah, like I said, this part's pretty self-explanatory. There were some new items there. I have no idea what they're called, so I'm not really going to go too much into them. But yeah, these do look interesting. I wonder what this thing does. I feel like that attached to an arrow might really do something interesting, but like I said, that's up to us in the game to figure out.
Depending on what you stick together.
Cool. So, yeah, we'll just wait until we find anything else interesting. Okay, so now he's going over this mushroom thing. This area looks kind of cool. This is supposed to be like some sort of fencing. Nothing really to see here, just stuff we kind of already seen. I mean, like I said, they did a really good job at picking areas that aren't really interesting. Anyway, now I want to get into my next point. So look, if you look right here, this thing is like some sort of shrine, which is interesting. It's blue, so it's really reminiscent of what a shrine was, and so I'm thinking these are the new shrines. So it's not like, I thought it was going to be like green, but it turns out it's not green, it's like blue. It's like a blue symbol, kind of like the shrines from Breath of the Wild. So that's really interesting. I'm interested to see what that entails, but we haven't seen anything about that yet. So this is cool, kind of goes off that Kind of like when they attached the dragon head, I believe in the 2021 trailer, to the shield. So that's kind of like the fuse ability, pretty much. Yeah.
Get powerful weapons by defeating strong enemies. But in this game, fusing even the weakest
Oh yeah, and you can. It's interesting how it gets smaller. I think that's a little cheesy, but whatever. It's cool. Still a lot of fun to do that. I mean, I guess it has to be smaller because Link has to carry it. So this is where he goes into the putty ability called Ultra Hand. Yeah, so let's see here what he goes into. Oh, here's something that's really cool. So right over here, we can see that these things can also be used to fuse, but obviously he won't go over there. He's going to focus more on the logs and the fans in this session. But yeah, that's the putty ability. So it looks like the putty is something automatic. It's not like something you could run out of, is what it looks like. So yeah, that's Ultra Hand. And it's kind of cool because like you have like this magnesis like ability, like a free magnesis, which is kind of cool because it can now not just do metal but like any other object, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's all interesting. You could also, that was cool how he adjusted the angle of it while it was floating. That's a big improvement from carrying stuff in Breath of the Wild. So yeah, let's see. Of course, right here we see these three things. I think they represent little houses or little caves, and we'll see why in a second. These three things down here. And then here again is that other shrine, and then there is a fully charged battery, meaning something is fully charged. I don't know what that is.
Oh, wind.
Yeah, so those fans are really cool. I like how it shows the power. And what's really interesting is we'll see that these things can actually work harder and drain their battery faster. So I'm really interested in how that's going to look. Yeah, so that's all cool.
Okay, they're attached.
Yeah,
Right,
nice.
let's try moving the boat. Hey,
Yeah, so they're both working together for something that's light and it's on water, so they're both, it's going slower. So yeah, it kind of represents both of the ones that are on. By the way, this person right here is a friendly robot. They're an NPC. Because when Link is about to run by them, you're going to see that it has a little speech bubble, meaning that they're an NPC friend type of person. So it looks like a, I guess, assumed to be like some sort of gardener one. You know, let's see what they say. Oh man, that's going to be kind of hard to read. Let's see if we could get it.
All right, we reached the other side.
Oh, so it showed their name, but it was so slight. Ranger construct. Okay, so they're a ranger. Like I said, like a gardener. So someone who's taking care of the area is what it looks like. Okay, cool. Was that a Stalbulb? Hold on, did that say Stalbulb? Oh, Stambulb. Okay. I thought I said Stal, like Stalfos. So Aonuma's kind of going into these abilities. He's saying that they're not available from the beginning of the game. Okay, that's cool. But he is going over this thing, which is pretty cool. So here, I'm gonna rewind and double check to make sure. Okay, cool. So nothing really to see here. So Link is about to jump on that thing. They haven't taken off yet. The fans haven't taken off yet, but notice that they're both going up. It's not floating on water anymore. These fans are working harder to push this whole boat up while carrying Link and the sail. So let's see it in action.
Try crafting different things and explore this world at your leisure.
Yeah, so yeah, you see they're working really hard to bring that up. You see it here, I'll go back. So you see at the battery, like these fans are working a lot harder because they're going up. They're not traveling on water, so it drains them a lot faster. So obviously we might need bigger fans or upgrade the ability or upgrade the putty or some other type of upgrade.
There are even more new
so now he's going to go over Ascend.
Okay, watch this.
Which is pretty cool. So what's cool about Ascend is that you'll actually be able to see in the ceiling where you'll go through. It doesn't apply to all ceilings, of course, which is fair. But it's cool that we could still do this anyway. So yeah, that's awesome. And then as we can see here, there's a store. So one of those ranger constructs probably have a store here. And then there's this little green thing here that probably represents something else that we don't know. But yeah, so he's just gonna go over Ascend a bit. I don't really see anything out here. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. There was like some sort of railing over there, but I don't think that's worth diving into. So yeah, he's gonna do it again to kind of go through like this snow part. Obviously, so you see here there was the check with the house, so that represents some sort of cave, with the NPC in it. So you see there's 3 here. This one doesn't have a check mark, which means he hasn't explored it. This island you can tell is higher because of its outline, which is really interesting. So let's kind of see what happens here. Okay, so he's gonna go through, and so it's cool. Maybe this is kind of like a loading thing, but it shows Link kind of like swimming through solid matter, which is kind of cool, like solid rock or something. And yeah, he jumps out. Cool. I like the way how it says unbearable cold this time. I don't know if you guys noticed that. See, it says unbearable cold, so it's a lot more specific than what Breath of the Wild was, but yeah, still pretty much the same thing. Over here, there's a little minecart and a track. That's all cool. Nice. I hope there's more abilities than Ascend, Fuse, Recall, and Ultra Hand. I hope there's like at least 3 more, please. I also mentioned in one of my videos that I wanted like the Sheikah Slate to be like available as like once you like almost 100% the game, or if or in DLC. So that'd be cool if the Sheikah Slate could come back, but way later in the game, like DLC or a late game unlock. So this thing is pretty cool. It's gonna blow them off, and we're gonna see the flying physics. Now this is definitely where in the trailer, this is probably where I get the most disappointed. So as you can see, Link gets blown off. You know, and this is like the whole physics here is very similar to how it was done in Breath of the Wild, when Link falls off of something, and then it automatically goes into him gliding, which was cool. I didn't really like the transition that much into gliding, but hey, that's still cool. We can see all these malice pools here. So that probably represents certain areas that we might have to check out. Maybe there's a hole, maybe there's a cave in there, who knows. But anyway, Link is diving, and like I said, this is probably the most disappointing part of the trailer to me, and you guys will see why. So first of all, there's nothing we're doing with the patents. So Link isn't like flipping and like he's looking up to the sky while falling. He's not using his arrow while falling. Well, I mean, he hasn't. You can't use your abilities here. It's gray, meaning he can't use it. Or maybe it's just Ascend. Who knows? Here's the apple representing food, I guess, for a quick meal. I probably should have mentioned that a lot earlier. Yeah, so here's the castle. There's the Beyond. And that kind of really scares me now. I didn't notice this the first time, but... So the north of Hyrule... and beyond, it kind of has this texture here, which is like not really well done, meaning that there's probably the same invisible barrier here, which is really not good. There's a castle. It's still, you could probably still go there. It's probably still not that hard to go there. So I'm kind of thinking that the castle's not the final boss. I expected the castle to be a lot higher. All of this stuff over here is familiar to us. There's a hole here. I don't remember that. I believe this is near like the Thundra Plateau. Yeah, or maybe I'm wrong. No. Yeah, here's the Colosseum. So yeah, this should be around where the Thunder Plateau is. Anyway, as I said over here, this texture, meaning that we can't go farther than that, that really disappoints me. And over here, it does look like there's an island that's kind of above, but I really wanted to go over here with no invisible barriers, or at least push the invisible barriers back. So that's a huge disappointment so far. There was the volcano there. We'll probably talk a little bit about that. So yeah, that volcano looks pretty cool. Mal's still coming out of it, so we'll probably have to go in there. Yeah, I hope these islands here, like I said earlier, are over the ocean, but it really sucks we can't go over here, and you can tell by the texture and the fact that there's not anything there. I hope it's just a loading thing, and I hope we could go there. I don't know, but obviously, like I said, there's a little sky island by itself. Obviously, like I said, this game does need to do a lot more to impress me. Honestly, a lot of this stuff looks pretty similar. Here are the thunderclouds again. Here's the area where the Spring of Courage was, I believe. Yeah, Spring of Courage. Yep. Yeah. So
Once you've chosen your
yeah, that's all cool in
destination,
games. Nothing
you can
else.
speed things up.
And
Like
yeah,
this.
skydive, so a lot similar
Let's
to
dive into
Skyward
this river.
Sword type of stuff. And then he goes into the water,
And we're back on the surface.
and no immediate sign of underwater traversal. Very disappointing. Maybe there's an ability we get later on, or maybe Link can do some sort of metal Mario thing where he could walk underwater, and then once it wears off, he just floats back up. I'm cool with that. I just want to go underwater. You know, so yeah. And that pretty much wraps this up. We finally see a bokoblin being carried by one of those new enemies over there, and there's the boards and stuff, probably for helping. There's a sign there. It probably says don't take this wood, but probably what Link will do is find some fans, attach it to the board, and that way they could fly up, you know. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much. I really don't know how long I've talked so far, but hey, if you guys stayed this whole time, I really appreciate that. Yeah, that was a fun analysis, and that's really all I could find. Obviously, some of the bigger Zelda YouTuber guys will find a lot more. But yeah, unfortunately, there wasn't really a lot. Obviously, it was cool for him to go over the abilities. Fuse was pretty new. But everything else we kind of knew. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't think the YouTuber guys, the other guys, will find a lot more. I think they tried really hard to find clips in places and use a specific build of the game, or barely anything has changed. But yeah, so if you guys like this video, thank you so much. Give it a like. Consider subscribing to the channel. I mainly do theory videos, but I wanted to do an analysis, you know, just for you guys, you know, for you guys who just really want an analysis very quickly. I hope I'm not too late. Obviously, you know, a lot of the guys with their analysis are pretty fast. But yeah, so I'm going to be uploading this as fast as I can, but thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, peace out, and leave a comment if I missed anything, or if you guys totally agree with me on something, or if there's something that I might have overlooked. Thank you guys. Peace out and take care.